Coming up on Valley News Live at 10, why boundary changes are again on the table for Fargo schools. The accused murderer who evaded police for weeks says he's not guilty. Plus, the new student incentives Minnesota colleges are offering amid a drop in enrollment. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, everyone. More school boundary changes could be coming for students within the Fargo School District. Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor tells us how many students could be impacted and when the changes could go into effect.
Bennett this school year, starting off this school year, exceeding the projected number of enrollments by RSP by a significant amount.
Bennett Elementary in South Fargo is currently the largest elementary school in the district with more than 630 students. School board officials say the proposed boundary changes would affect about 37 students and help provide relief for that particular school as more families continue to move south. For one school board member, there's a concern about proximity.
How far are we going to go south and past an elementary to go north? So I'm just trying to, in looking at both of these, I'm just trying to make sense of it all in terms of distance for families.
Currently, the district owns 80 acres of land south of 76th Avenue South for the potential of a future middle or elementary school. But school board officials say it may not be cost effective to build until the FM diversion is complete. The first reading of the proposal was approved by the school board and will now move on to a second reading and public comment. In Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
A second reading will happen on November 9th. Now, some more news out of tonight's Fargo School Board meeting. An apology for actions displayed during the last meeting. That was on October 12th. The conversation from that meeting became hostile as school board member Jennifer Benson motioned to change the district-wide mask mandate to a recommendation. At one point, Brian Nelson walked off while Benson was having the discussion, and President Knutson chuckled before moving on. School board member Jim Johnson expressed how he was displeased with Benson bringing up the motion again.
I'm just going to go on the record, Jennifer and David, and say I'm really tired of this game. And you know, you can keep trying to use all of our time in these board meetings for this issue. And I understand it's a critical issue, but I don't think anything has changed in this board's position in the last 2 weeks.
Benson brought up the motion again during tonight's school board meeting. This time, school board member Seth Holden thanked Benson for her passion, but stated she has not taken enough effort to speak with members individually on the issue. New at 10 tonight, the man accused of killing his wife, then evading police for weeks, is pleading not guilty. Eric Reinbold's attorney has confirmed with us he made the plea in Pennington County Court today. He's facing charges of intentional second-degree murder and second-degree murder in the death of his wife. To the forecast, some spooky weather may be in store as we inch closer to Halloween. Hutch joins us with a first look. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. On this Tuesday, a lot of wind happened today. Now we turn our attention to what is happening on the radar. Right now, you're looking at our Dakota Magic Casino cam. We still have gusty winds here, but take a look at this in Bismarck, North Dakota. We do have some wet streets, some low clouds and fog showing up there on our Storm Team Skycam network. Oh, that's not up? Okay, well, we'll just let you know there's rain and wet weather taking place out in the western Dakotas right now. You can see it on the radar showing up nicely up in the oil patch near Williston on up towards Crosby, straight down through Dickinson and Hettinger. But there is some light shower activity and fog working its way into Bismarck. There's low clouds and fog showing up in western Stutzman County as well. The visibilities are reduced out there to under 5 miles in places, and it's on its way. So as we go through the overnight hours, the rain will be moving in, and you want that umbrella handy as we go into the morning hours. Gusty winds still over 25 miles per hour. Those will taper off. I'll have hour-by-hour details on that cooler air that's heading our way, the wet weather tomorrow, and Halloween. Now a first alert weather day. We'll talk about why in a minute.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. Minnesota State Patrol is investigating a fatal crash tonight that happened around 5 p.m. just a few miles north of Wadena at Highway 71 and 190th Street. Highway Patrol says a semi-truck and a car collided, killing 2 people inside the car. The semi-driver was not hurt. Valley News Live is working to learn the cause of that crash, and we'll update you when we learn new information. A man is in the hospital with serious injuries after sideswiping a semi-truck on I-29 near Grandin. Officers say a delivery truck and a semi were traveling south on I-29. They say the driver of the delivery truck was moving to the left lane to pass the semi, but didn't clear it enough, causing the delivery truck to spin and roll. The driver had to be extracted from the vehicle. He was taken to Sanford. A man had a goal to bike across the U.S. and bring awareness to unrest in his home country of China. But now Alex Lee is stuck here in North Dakota after an accident in Pembina County almost killed him. It happened last month near St. Thomas. Lee was hit by a pickup truck, leaving him with broken teeth and a broken atrium in his heart.
The doctor told me he didn't even know if I can wake up or not. I feel very grateful. God gave me the second life.
Lee says he wants to thank the people of Grand Forks for the abundance of prayers, food, and support he's received in the last month he's been here, saying he's never experienced a community like that. North Dakota Highway Patrol says the driver of the pickup truck was cited for failure to maintain control. The Pembina County Attorney's Office is considering more charges. Understaffed child care centers are causing a local crisis. Child care centers have to run background checks on potential new hires, and to do that, they have to get fingerprints, a service that pre-COVID was run through the Department of Human Services. As the owner of a Dilworth daycare explains now, that's been almost impossible.
If we can get somebody here that wants to do this job, we need to get them hired, and we can't. We're not allowed to put them in the classroom or work with children until their background study clears.
While Fargo has resources for fingerprinting, daycare providers in Minnesota like Nicole are required to obtain their prints and background checks in Minnesota. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks and in some cases up to 4 months to get a new hire in the system. And with jobs in great supply, many people aren't willing to wait. We've heard many times during the pandemic about people quitting their jobs in search of something better, and the latest numbers indicate the same thing is happening on college campuses across the country. Enrollment has been dropping, although North Dakota is bucking that trend. A report from the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center says nationwide enrollment is down 6.5% from 2 years ago. That's the largest enrollment drop in 50 years. The numbers in North Dakota aren't as bad. It was less than 3.5% last year, less than 1.5% this year. On the other hand, enrollment this year is actually up at UND, Dickinson State, Valley City State, and Dakota College of Bottineau. In Minnesota, numbers are not trending in the same direction as North Dakota's. Esme Murphy explains what the state is doing to increase enrollment.
The COVID pandemic gets the blame for recent steep enrollment declines, but there's another reason: the skyrocketing cost of a college education.
Yeah, I think if you ask any student, money is going to be one of the top 3 issues, probably a top 2, I would say.
But right now, declining enrollment nationwide is actually good news for a lot of families and students. That's because colleges have to offer more financial aid and other incentives to attract students. At Minneapolis Community and Technical College, also known as Minneapolis College, enrollment is down 20% from 2019, and college administrators are working outside the box to help students stay enrolled.
So if a student or parent is laid off, we can look at this current year's income instead of previous.
The University of St. Thomas is using funds from alumni and donors to direct more financial aid to first-generation college students and students of color. The University of Minnesota and Hamline University have not seen enrollment drop, and again, potentially offering more financial aid.
We did increase some of our merit scholarships for this coming year.
Hamline has also revamped its admissions process to provide a more individualized focus to potential students. The trend of dropping enrollment is expected to only continue for another reason. Over the past decade, American women have given birth to 5.8 million fewer babies.
Another incentive to attract students has lost some of its luster. A proposal to double the amount someone can receive from Pell Grants to $13,000 has been dropped from President Joe Biden's massive social spending bill. The proposed increase in that bill is now $500. The CDC now says certain people who are immunocompromised may need a 4th COVID shot. They say those people can get that 4th shot at least 6 months after getting their third shot. Research showed that a booster dose enhanced the antibody response to the vaccine in certain immunocompromised people. This comes as the FDA's vaccine advisors are recommending Pfizer's COVID vaccine for 5 to 11-year-olds. Today's vote was 17-0 with one abstention. The issue now moves to the CDC. If they approve, children will be able to receive the vaccine a few days later. Still ahead tonight, the man responsible for giving Alec Baldwin the gun that killed the film's cinematographer has deep Minnesota ties. Valley News Live digs into that. Still to come.
Windy weather and temperatures reaching the 50s today, upper 50s here in Fargo, and we also had over 50-mile-per-hour winds. Your peak gust 51, Tenney 48, 45 miles per hour in Grand Forks. Well, you won't have to hold the hat as tightly tomorrow, but it will be wet. Details next.